the reality is nobody wants to say what we're getting ready to say about the holidays. Yep, it is the holidays 2023. Join us. I think you can relate.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer, and I'm really glad that I could pull Carrie away from the farm and get her to sit down and record this awesome podcast with us, because it is something, sis, that people don't, I don't know what people, I guess people just want to always talk about the good, and they always just want to sing and cheer and jingle all the way. But the reality is holidays are so incredibly tough.
They really are. And I'm so excited to talk about this, Cristy, because unpopular opinion, I personally have kind of a love-hate relationship with the holidays. And I don't think that that's popular. No one likes that. No one wants to talk about how stressful, but even more than that, like, let's look beyond the presents and all that. Just to stay on track with eating is such a hard thing during the holidays. And the truth is that nobody wants to say that. They're just like, sleigh bells ring, are you listening? And then nobody wants to go, I hate that my coworker has baby Christmas trees in chocolate wrappers sitting in a big bowl on her desk.
Yeah. Yeah. The deck is stacked against us for the holidays. It's everywhere. And, you might have lost a loved one, and holidays are incredibly difficult for you. You might hate them. And I think that that's why we call this podcast Feeling let me do that again. Feeling conflicted. Are you feeling conflicted? Because we love the cheer. We love the lights. We love the music. We love the decorations, but I think a lot of our rebels, sis, going into the holidays, they are feeling massive anxiety about it. I mean, we just got done releasing the holiday survival kit, and it provides people, guys, if you were one of the 86 people that got in on that kit, I'm so thankful for you, because it's really useful, especially the weekly meetings with me from November 5th through January 7th. And, going into the holidays for our rebels, I mean, they're biting their nails. They're really, really nervous. And, I think they got a right to kind of be nervous. I mean, it's understandable.
When you think about it, Cristy, it really starts in September, because all of a sudden, as soon as school supplies are moved over to those clearance aisles in Walmart, what do they move in but Halloween candy? So it truly starts mid-September. We start getting, and even early September, we start getting all of the fun packs, the happy packs, the chocolate packs, the gummy nerd packs. I mean, it starts, and it's overwhelming. Maybe not for you, but as for someone who's lost over 100 pounds, and I've kept it off for a lot of years, it is overwhelming to me to walk in the store and see all the candy. And it really is very challenging. And I think part of it is that it's in your face so much. Unless you avoid the Walmart, unless you avoid everybody's candy bowl at work, unless you avoid the parties, unless you avoid going to the grocery store, those are not things that we can necessarily avoid. It is just in your face, and it's like right in your face. And it starts in September, and it goes through September, October, November, December, and even into the New Year parties that everyone has. And here's what I think the biggest problem is, Cristy. We, as a society, everyone knows this. I'm preaching to the choir. We are so food focused. It's really, in most families, I'm going to throw that out there. I'm going to say that. I'm going to get some hate. But in most families, September, October, November, and December are about eating.
Two things I want to say about Halloween candy before we move past that.
Oh, okay.
It's 80% off the day after Halloween. And that's a real hard one to turn down, isn't it? It's almost like they're paying you to take it. Like they just like take it away. That's a hard one to turn down. But sis, you know what I just noticed here the other day? I went into the US bank and nobody was around. Oh, I can't believe I'm telling you guys all this.
Maybe we should pause the podcast and you should know I'm teasing. Be authentic. People like that.
You can see I'm turning red. What I noticed, it came to me, nobody was around and there was a big bowl of candy. And when I knew that nobody was going to see me, sis, I grabbed a big handful because nobody could see me. Or like the doctor's office, there was a big bowl of candy and nobody would know. Nobody would know that I took some. And I became like, me knowing that people are watching is a big motivator for me to eat clean. But when no one's watching, oh, sis, I almost could. I can't control it when no one was watching.
Well, Jesus was watching. I'm not judging you. Today at the gym, they have a little felt why they would have candy at the gym. It seems highly oxymoronic, but we've had those conversations about donut day at the gym. So whatever. But I sat there and they have at the bottom this little felt Halloween pumpkin. And one of them was a Tootsie Roll. So I was like, well, I could just eat that. And I was like, you just worked out. You're sweating. You're standing here sweating and you're going to get that in your mouth. Like you haven't had anything to eat today. And that's that's the choice you're going to make. So I walked away from the Tootsie Rolls. I was like this, but so I'm not judging you. I am not judging you, but I ain't going to cheat on a Sour Patch Kid.
Ugh.
But if they have a little pack of Swedish fish, I'll be like, but anyway, those of you that are righteous out there and they're like, I haven't had sugar since I started Code Red in 2020. Well, good for you. Yes. Good for you, Sally. I'm glad you're perfect. Cristy and I are real people, but you're right, Cristy, about the Halloween candy. And I feel like everybody's things all are about food. There's a little church down the road that Dad and I go to when I'm not working the weekends, and Dad attends. Cristy and I's dad, Larry. They had a Halloween celebration and they served, everyone, of course, got candy. Plus they had a big chili meal. Chili, not so bad, but I'm sure that they had, all the accoutrements with all of that, like the cornbread and the crackers and then the desserts. And, it can't just be about coming and having a good time and playing the fishing game and, winning prizes for a contest. It has to be about the food. It has to be about the caramel apples. When you're talking about Halloween, it has to be about just copious amounts of candy, more than anybody needs. I mean, the dentists love this time of year. So, and then we move right into Thanksgiving. And Cristy, there's not even a break. Nobody even gets a hot minute to take a breath. And we're right into Thanksgiving with pies and sweet potatoes, disguised as a side dish. And all it is another form of a pie, and the cookies. And then it gets even worse because we go into Christmas. I think Christmas is the biggest offender personally. I even think it's worse because there's events and things you have to attend, and they all require and involve food. Can you think of one holiday thing that you do, that you attend or that you go to, that you're part of, that doesn't involve some form of food?
The average person gains 10 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year, but like you said, it starts mid-September and goes to mid-January. So that's 4 months. That is 1/3 of the year where people are bombarded every single day. And it seems to be accepted and okay to bake extra a lot and take it places. You're taking it to your neighbors. You're taking it to the hospital to try to give it to the staff while they're taking care of your Aunt Betty. And it's just everywhere. So we've got 1/3 of the year where you really have to be a strong person between mid-September to mid-January to get through it. I mean, talk about the deck being stacked against you. You are not crazy. It is legit hard.
It's almost like I used to get this very strange feeling when I was losing weight. like I was being persecuted. Now, y'all can think that maybe I'm a little schizophrenic. I don't know, but that's how I felt. I felt like the world hated me and wanted me to stay fat. And it was just such a weird feeling. But it is like, I would go into Home Depot and see like the candy at the checkout, and I'd be like, they hate me. They're trying to get me. Why are there corn nuts here? Like, I mean, corn nuts taste so good. Like, why are they here? And it's the same thing with that haul. I think people that are trying to be healthy and take their life back, it's that same feeling. And I find that any of you listening that are in the medical field, I find that's even worse because like Cristy said, people are always bringing stuff to the hospital. They're leaving it in the break rooms. And, you know, maybe you could argue that your situation is worse at your office building. I don't know. Maybe they're starting to have cupcake Fridays. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but it really potlucks. I mean, it just, every party you attend, it doesn't stop throughout the whole season.
I'll tell you what I have been doing. I guess I've been doing it for a while, but I noticed and let me just give you some context here. My cabin. So I own a cabin at Tamarack. It's a little cottage, 1,200 square foot cottage right there on the ski slope, right across from the golf course. It is gorgeous. I love my little cottage, my little cabin. Well, the furnace just went out and they are replacing the furnace coming this Friday. So I can't go up there. But I noticed that when the going gets tough here in Boise and I can't seem to control my urge to want to eat because I'm here where there's a lot more people, it's more congested. I mean, down in the lobby at my hotel where I live, it's candy down there. Everywhere I go, I just went and voted at City Hall yesterday, candy everywhere. I noticed that I want to escape to my cabin because I don't have access to any junk food at all. And in fact, I keep very basic food at my cabin. And so I escape a lot to my cabin when I start to get a lot of anxiety about the food that I'm surrounded by here in Boise. And I noticed, I was like, I just need to go to my cabin. I was like, oh, I can't go to my cabin. I don't have a furnace and it's below freezing up there. It's way too cold in my cabin. I can't go up there till they replace the furnace. And then I felt so trapped, sis. I was like, I have no place to go. I feel so trapped.
I think that can I segue into that is one of the best tips. And we're going to give you our tips and tricks to making it through the holiday. I think Cristy just gave you the best one. Number one, you've got to create a safe space. You have to. And I know everyone jokes about this is a safe space. And even Anne-Marie, if she starts to get overwhelmed at school, you know, there's like a room they can go to and it has like, you know, ASMR and sand. They can put their hands in, they can lay quietly with like an eye mask. I'm like, boy, at Orfino High School, they didn't have any of that. There were no safe spaces. It was, you better get your big girl panties on. This is life. So I used to take my money and call my mom my safe space. But you've got to, I think for any of you that are trying to stay healthy through the holidays, Cristy brought up the best tip. Number one, you have absolutely got to create a safe space for yourself. A cabin. For me, it's my home. Maybe it's your car. For you, maybe it is the library. I don't know where it is, but you've got to have somewhere that you can go where you can relax and there are not temptations around you. I think that is one of the biggest things that will really help you get through the holidays.
I love that. And I'm going to bring up another tip that is a basic one. And guys, if you've been with Code Red since I've been doing this 13 years. So this is not going to be a big surprise, but we're going to say it. You got to drink your water every day. That's a big tip to getting through the holidays because being properly hydrated is going to help keep the hunger away. It's going to help you feel full. It's going to help you feel, and me too, I've got mine right here, feel satiated. It's going to prevent auto intoxication. It's going to help you go potty on a regular basis. It's going to just even a 1% drop in hydration could yield a 10% drop in strength. And when you're dehydrated, your body sends signals that you're hungry. And don't nobody need that baloney right now, especially. So you've got to keep drinking at least a gallon of water a day during the holidays.
Yeah. Add your caged, add your HydroCharge to it, add your Ultima, add, if you want a couple drops of essential oils. We have done many podcasts on water drinking. Go back and look. You have got to get that water in with Cristy. Cristy is absolutely right, on a daily basis. It's not an option. You have to do it. It will help you keep on track. And when you get thirsty, if you're drinking all your prescribed water a day, you absolutely will be less hungry. And I love that you said dehydration can sometimes, they'll get on that same hunger pathway and you'll think you're hungry and you'll be like, I have a headache. No, you have a headache because you're dehydrated, not because you need to eat right now. So I love that. That's a great tip. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Real fast. Code Red 15 is going to get you 15% off both Redmond Real Salt, the Redmond Relight Powder, and the Caged HydroCharge. And Caged has 8 flavors, you guys, 8 flavors. So you can find a flavor that's going to meet your needs. And it's already affordable. Comes in a 60 serving tub for $30. And then you add the 15% off that. I mean, guys, you're really looking at some good products that we have to offer you. You don't have to just drink plain water.
What's your favorite flavor?
Right now, I'm working my way through lemon lime and strawberry. Those are my 2 favorites.
My 2 are strawberry yuzu and the new hibiscus pear. I like it.
I'll get you some.
Yeah, it has a floral to it, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I do a little bit less on the lemon lime, but the strawberry came in the packets forever, y'all. And Cristy and I were like, oh, please. But they finally came out with it in a tub. In fact, I just threw a tub in the garbage because I emptied it out, the strawberry. But the strawberry and the hibiscus, I mean, I'm a fruit punch girl. Like I will drink the fruit punch like all day. Let's go. But if I had to pick my 2 favorites, those are really good. Did you like the hibiscus or you still love the?
It was way too weak for me. I needed 2 scoops.
Ah, yes. I'm putting 2 scoops anyway.
Oh, true.
But that lemon lime, man, that'll wake you up. Let me just tell you, you get up in the morning and you should have your pre-filled water bottle at your bedside. This is off topic. You have a little lemon lime in there. Let me tell you, you'll be like, it's a good morning. I mean, it'll wake you right up. That lemon is punchy. It is yummy.
Yeah. Those are really, really great options, you guys. And with that discount code, you're putting a little money back into Code Red to help us pay salaries, and you're getting a discount. I mean, it's really take advantage of those discounts on the hydration, because I know that with me, I'm doing at least 4 of these bottles a day, sometimes 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It really is a game changer. And some people we've said this, but if you're really wanting something, you can freeze it in a bowl and make a slushy out of it. That's delicious, but that's beside the point. Okay. So next tip, are you ready for the next tip?
Yeah, ready.
And Cristy knows this. Tip number 3, just don't buy it. Don't have it in your home and don't buy it. Like, I know that you're talking about the safe space. We already talked about that. Carrie, that's the same thing. No, it really isn't. Don't allow it in your home. You cannot do that. And don't sell yourself the bill of goods that it's for the kids or for your husband or for your wife, because truly, if I'm being completely truthful with myself, I eat it. Anne Marie might have 1 or 2. So I'll wrap it up and have her take it to her room if she really wants whatever it is. Brandon doesn't eat sweets much, so that's not an issue. But Carrie is going to eat 99% of what comes in the door, unless I can get our dad to visit, and then he will help me out. I'm just saying. So if I bake it, if I make it, if it's given to me, everyone has, if you're not in weight loss mode, have your piece, your half a piece, your bite, whatever, and then it needs to leave your house. So you can take it to, again, your church. Next time the men have a Bible study, take it there, drop it off. Please don't bring it to my ICU and drop it off in our break room. But other fire stations, the police station, they're going to appreciate these things. And you can be appreciative from other people. Write them a thank you note, give them a hug. Thank you so much. But that doesn't mean you have to eat it. There's no guilt eating. So stop that. But you cannot have it. Don't buy the little Debbie's, little, Christmas shaped, just because they only come out this type of year, Christmas shaped cookies. Don't do it. Don't buy it, and don't have it in your house. And of course, some people are going to be like, Carrie, you saying, listen, how serious do you want to be about being healthy? That's my question to you. How serious do you want to be? Anyone can make excuses. Well, my uncle, he makes this peanut brittle that he brought over the recipe from Germany in 1974. Okay, well then fine, eat your peanut brittle, but don't complain to me when your A1C is elevated. So if we're being serious about taking our life back, then have a bite and pass it along. If you're in weight loss mode, don't do it. It is so much better to stay off that crazy train. But you've got to create a safe place, drink your water, and you have got to not have it in your house.
Well, recovering drug addicts don't keep drugs in their cupboard, and we are recovering sugar addicts. Most of us are. I know that when I was going through my sugar addiction, before I identified what it was, I would eat an entire pound. Yes, I said pound of peanut M&Ms every single night while I was laying in bed. I mean, it was just toxic levels of sugar and chemicals. I don't know how I think I was so miserable. I had so much anxiety and sadness and depression when I lived in New York City, and I missed my family so bad that I used this copious amount. I mean, just this enormous amount of food and sugar to create this uncomfortable stomach so that I would temporarily forget about my feelings. I just coped with sugar. And so that's why it's one of the top 3 rules for the rest of your life that we rebels believe. We get on the scale every day, we drink our water every day, and we never allow sugar to come in our house. Those are the top 3 non-negotiable rules. And actually, sis, this goes right perfect into the next one. And that is, you got to stay on that scale every day. And that's not just a holiday thing. That's an everyday thing, but especially the holidays, because that scale is going to be your first line of defense to help you not put your head in the sand and act like it ain't happening. You have to be held accountable for that number. Well, I'm more than a number. Yeah, but it's a metric that we use to measure. It's just like clothes out of the dryer. It's just like the tape measure. It's just like your body fat percentage. It's just like your A1C or your fasting glucose. We use these numbers and we use the scale. So you've got to come face to face to the reality of that number.
And there is nothing more motivating than finding that there's an issue and correcting it quickly rather than waiting. Well, I'm not going to weigh. No shave November. Well, we're having no weigh December. Okay, well, best of luck. Don't be doing that. It's for you to stay on track is just to make it a part of your daily routine. Accept it for what it is. It doesn't define you clearly, but it will help you see where you're steering during this holiday season. So many people, we could do a whole podcast on this, that have gotten off track after losing a lot of weight on Code Red. The very first thing they let go is they just don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to get on that scale every day. They just don't want to do it. And I understand that feeling.
Yeah, me too. I didn't want to, sis. I mean, there have been times where I've taken a break from carrying and I didn't want to know what that number was.
Yes. But embracing it, it's like finding out how much your debt is with all your interest rates. It's just better to embrace it and know that. And it will keep you on track in the holidays, because ultimately, Cristy can come and you can attend her meetings and, you can get a VIP coach and you can be in every Code Red group and all that. But ultimately it comes down to you. Ultimately, Cristy's good and she can get weight off anybody, but ultimately you guys can't afford her to come to your house and slap the food out of your hand. So ultimately it is you. And one of the ways that's really simple to know where your life is headed, how your portions were, is just staying on the scale. I love that, Cristy. That's perfect. And of course, now that gets us to the last basic. And you got to sleep. I thought you were going to say sleep first. I know y'all are like, we've already talked about these things, but how many of you guys are going to bed, wrapping presents at 11, 12 at night, and then wondering why you're starving the next day, wondering why you got to get up and go to Starbucks, wondering why you got to do the Dutch Bro drive-through. It's because you're tired. And again, tired hijacks hunger, or hunger hijacks tired pathways. You're either dehydrated or you're tired, and your body says, we're hungry. We're hungry. We're hungry. And it's a very strong feeling that comes over you.
Yeah, it's gonna, because your body's just trying to keep you alive, so it's gonna send sugar signals so that you don't cross over the yellow line and hit the guy in the oncoming lane. It's just the quickest form of energy is a caramel macchiato and a cake pop, and it's not your fault. It's just your body chemically trying to keep you awake, and it's doing what it. If you're sleep deprived, you will get sugar cravings. It's the craziest thing. So you combine sleep deprivation with dehydration, and it's just a recipe for disaster. So to get proper sleep, I mean, this is the number one biggest rule. We always say, you ain't sleeping, you ain't losing. Well, shoot, not even just losing, you're going to be a mess. Dad says, if you don't sleep for 3 days, you'll be talking, feeling, and sounding like a crazy person. And it is awful. I mean, sis, Hazel was spayed here last week, and the first 3 days past her surgery, I didn't sleep, and it was miserable. And I remember talking to you each day, and I was just like, and my weight was going up a pound each day, and I was just miserable. And I just said, tonight's my night. I have to sleep. I can't keep going through this.
Yeah, you were hurting big time. Think of it this way, Cristy. I had a patient the other night, and he called me into the room. Of course, all the information has been changed to protect the innocent. He called me into the room, and he said, I think I've got a blood clot. I think I've got a pulmonary emboli. I'm a post-surgical patient. So that's always a possibility. So I was like, well, before I make that call, or before I call the doctor with this patient has a pulmonary emboli, let's look at what it could be. So are you, they had a laparoscopic procedure. So is it gas pains escaping? Are you sore because the way you laid on the operating table? Are you having anxiety? So we kind of went through a couple of those things and decided to try a warm blanket and some IV Tylenol, turn over to another side, and that took care of the problem. So what happens is the exact same thing, is that you're going through your day and you're like, I am starving. Like, I am starving. Okay, so what I want you to do this holiday season is, before you go and reach the food, ask yourself, just like I did with my patient who thought they had a pulmonary emboli, could it be anything else? Before I eat, you've got to have a hard stop, that like when your computer goes to the blue screen. Okay, the blue screen. You got to have a hard stop that says, Carrie, could it be you're thirsty? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm really hungry, but just hold on. Am I thirsty? No, I drank everything. Okay. And then another hard stop. Carrie, are you tired? You know what? I am really tired. I was up late with little kids being sick. Okay, let's correct that first. And then if you're still hungry, then let's talk about eating. And remember that you can set a timer on your phone. Cravings will go away usually within a half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour. So in 20 minutes and a half an hour after you drink some water and you take a second and you take a break and you're still starving, you still have that, it may be real hunger. But I would love all of you guys to do a nursing action before you think it's a pulmonary emboli. Try to figure out, what else could it be before we eat. Could it be hunger? Could it be thirsty? Could it be sleep, and could it be thirst? I think it's really important to have a hard stop kind of method in place during the holiday season.
I have a one-on-one client right now, and that's a special program that people can apply to. I knew that she had a bad night's sleep. And so that next day, and part of what I offer with one-on-one is I talk to them directly throughout the day. And I said to her, I really stayed in touch with her hard that day, because I knew she was on that verge of tipping. And so I was just like, stay with me. How are you doing? And it was almost like every 2 hours I was checking back in with her and saying, how you doing? You getting, because I knew she was close to that edge. And I just needed to hold on to her to get her through the day so that she could get a good night's sleep and be back to standing on her own 2 feet.
Oh, that's priceless. Well, it ain't priceless. There's a price to it.
There's a price tag.
There's a price. It ain't priceless. I mean, we can give you a number if you're interested.
I think that segues well into the next tip.
Okay.
You probably already thought about it, but staying connected to the community. This is the number one biggest factor, whether you lose your weight and keep it off or you don't. The biggest problem that people make is disconnecting. And I can tell you that I would have reversed out of my post show, if so much better if I would have stayed better connecting to the bodybuilding community. I would have reversed so much better, but I didn't. I went on my own and I didn't do it very well. And I could have done a better job, and I gained about half my weight back. And I regret that. And that's such a bummer. So it doesn't have to be you. You stay connected. Keep in ringside, keep listening to the podcast, stay on carrying my Instagram. I mean, stay connected to the people who walk this lifestyle.
It's harder to fall away. Also, when people like unfriend me on Facebook and stop following me, and I'm always like, oh crap, they're falling off the wagon. I hate that. But staying connected with Code Red is very easy. There are challenges taking place on Facebook. Again, we have podcasts for days. There are how many, Cristy? How many podcasts do we have?
Almost 250.
Yo, listen, you got enough to listen to. You can stay connected. Just like, in your walk with Christ, those of you that are Christians, I mean, you have to stay connected. The Bible says that he is the tree, but he is the vine, but we are the branches. The branches cannot exist off the vine. That's in Mark 15. Wait, Matthew. Oh no, it just left me, Cristy. Okay. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. Look that up.
But yeah, I don't want to be wrong. All the Bible people are yelling at me. I just was doing a thing about this.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd King, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. I remember memorizing the books of the Bible when I was a kid. And yeah, this is what Carrie gets for trying to quote a scripture when she wasn't quite sure.
Cute. I think it's Mark. I just did it this morning. I just talked about it.
I was super impressed when you pulled that out like that. I was thinking, are you kidding me? That's amazing, sis. That you just like, and I think there was a song about he is the vine, I am the branches, or he is the vine, I am I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's not.
I'll have to look it up later and give it to you.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it was John. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Because I literally just did a I just did
Instagram.
You saw it. Go back and look at it and tell me what the scripture was. Oh, it was John. It was John. I just remembered. Okay, John 15 right here. I'm sorry, everybody. Please, maybe the podcasting guys can cut that out. I'd be like, she didn't seem to know. I am the vine. This is 15. I got that part. 15:5. Jesus is talking. He says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I am him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. So the point is that, and I even have it highlighted because I'm a real Christian. It is highlighted, but not because I'm a real Christian, because I probably should have known it was John. I don't know why. But the point is that you have to say vines by themselves don't do anything. Okay. Out there free, out there just, and I'm free eating sunflower seeds and I'm taking a bite of this and I'm just kind of out there just doing my own thing. Connected to the branch. So you have to be connected to the tree, the root. So this is true in Christianity, even though I didn't know the chapter, the book I was supposed to be in. This is also true with Code Red. You got to stay connected, because outside, when you get cut off and you're laying on the ground, you stop making fruit. You stop moving forward. So there are people that can move forward on their own. They are rare. And I say that having coached a lot of weight loss people. Very rare that people move forward on their own. Some people can, but it's a pretty rare person. It really is.
If you don't have the last tip, I've got probably a good one to close with.
I was going to talk about parties. What were you going to talk about?
Oh, well.
Is that better than mine?
I want to leave it for the last one. So go ahead with the next one.
Okay. Quick, talking about parties. You have to attend them. I get it. A couple of things that really help me with going to parties is to find out what they're serving ahead of time and decide exactly what you're going to eat. If it's a sit down eating party. Okay. Number 2, if it's like a buffet party, show up a little bit late. And don't stand near the buffet. Cristy attended one last year for some friends of hers, and she purposefully left that area. She wasn't even there around the food. That was perfect. Also, she wore something tight fitting to remind us of how we want to stay where we are. We want to move forward with our weight loss journey. If you're wearing a muumuu, it's not a good sign at the party. And the other thing is, of course, a pre-plan, have it in your head what you're going to do. You have to have a plan. Don't go into a party with eight ways to eat yams, okay, and some pie and expect to stay strong. Guys, I couldn't do that. So you got to have a plan heading into a party. Parties are inevitable. They're not bad. Make it about the people, not about the food, and just try to get your head wrapped around the way it's going to go before you get there. And that will make a big difference.
Man, we talk about parties a lot with Code Red, and I don't know why people feel like they have to eat when they get there. It's about being together. It's about the fellowship. It's about, just celebrating together and visiting and seeing people and giving hugs and taking pictures with people. I don't know why there has to be copious amounts of food, sugar, and alcohol, and that people feel so much pressure to partake. I don't get that. I'll tell you that Friendsgiving that you referred to, sis. And there's another one coming up this weekend, and I'm not going to go. It starts late. I don't know why she starts them so late, but that was hard, by the way. They have a huge house, and the island in the middle of the kitchen is like an aircraft carrier. And it was full of your favorite foods, full everything from dumplings to the cookies and cakes and crackers and snacks and charcuterie boards and meatballs, and like everything you can imagine was there. And it was like, I only stayed for so long, and it was really hard for me. I'd stayed over here on the other side of the room. I interacted with people, and the pull got harder and harder and harder. And finally I just excused myself. I couldn't take it any longer.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense to me. You did a great job with that. You really did. Okay. I want to hear the last tip, because I don't know if I've thought of it in my head.
Well, I don't know if it's a tip as much as just kind of one thing that I want to reassure you. If you fail, and if you have gained your weight back, or if you continue to slip and fall off the wagon, you can always come back. If you want to come back, you have to want it. Not in the way that, well, I'll just start over on Monday. Well, because I can promise you Monday never comes. You never start over on Monday. But if you are sick and tired of your own crap, and you've let it go, and you have slipped and you've backslidden, as the Christians say, you can always come back. You can always start over again. You can start with a 7-day total body reset for $17. You can start by rereading the Code Red Revolution. You can start back on number 1 on podcast. There are so many ways to get started with a 10-pound takedown. There's so many things that you can do to get you started again. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to be embarrassed. We love you. We welcome you with open arms, and every one of us have regained some weight. Some of us have regained a lot, all of it, more than the original amount. But the point is, you can always come back.
And don't wait till January 2nd to come back. You can come back on December 20th. Yeah. You can start weighing and drinking your water on November 1st. Now that's passed, but you know what I'm saying? It's time of this recording. Don't feel like there has to be a certain date. If your attitude is, I just want to enjoy the holidays, then your attitude is not quite right. And evidently, I'm going to say it because I used to be fat. You must not be fat enough, or it doesn't hurt bad enough. Because if you're waiting until January 2nd, because you want to eat with anything you want, it's time to reevaluate what's important to you. It really is. And I've been there, so I get it 100%.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. The holidays, feeling conflicted, because we get it. We love it. And we get to be together. Carrie and I get to see each other soon. But it's also like, it's frustrating. And we get that too. So we hope our tips help. We hope just saying things that you might be thinking, but you might be embarrassed to say, we hope that helped. We love you. We're here for you. You know how to get in touch with us, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you are looking for some hardcore accountability, To get and keep this weight off, look no further because I've got VIP Connection. This is the ultimate connection to me, just short of me sleeping on your couch. You're going to get 3 daily messages from me in real time directly to you. You're going to submit your weight every Friday. We're going to go over it in a weekly meeting on Sunday nights, and I'm going to give you feedback. You'll have access to a monthly VIP breakfast with me in Boise, a monthly VIP supplement box, access to any workshop, any PDF promo that I hold for that month. You'll have access to the Ringside membership. And best of all, you'll have a fully customized nutrition program written just for you. We're talking about over $3,000 total value for $397 a month, and you can cancel anytime. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/VIP to check that out.